on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ben McCollum. Brought to you by Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. Extreme, powered by Mediacom. It's the internet dreams are made of. Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Visit MidwestOne.bank for empowered money management. Member FDIC. Also brought to you by Shelter Insurance. The ball is in your court. Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent who can help you with your auto, home, and life insurance needs. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Oh, that Jan Jensen is a tough act to follow, but I'll give it my best shot, okay? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Week 3 of Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Ben McCollum. Nice crowd here on hand tonight in the toasty, cozy, warm confines of the Hyatt Regency Watermark Bar and Grill, and we invite you in the listening audience, if you're driving around, maybe wrapping up a day's worth of shopping in Johnson County, Iowa City, Coralville, stop on by the Hyatt Regency. The food is outstanding. The drinks are ice cold. And they've got hot chocolate and all those wonderful things for you, too, to help get the Christmas season off to a good start. We're just, 10 days out. Iowa basketball is 9-2. Hard to believe we're already a third of the way through Ben McCollum's first season as head coach. The Hawks are ranked number 25 on the coaches poll out today. And if you add up the votes, they'd be 27th on the Associated Press top 25. So just outside peeking in, the door cracked open, but playing solid basketball. And it's, of course, only mid-December. I get that, but they've got some important home games left before the Big Ten rolls around in that first week in January. And then it's Big Ten basketball all the time as we roar through January, February, and half of March before postseason gets here. So there's plenty to get excited about. Yesterday, the Hawkeyes absolutely throttled Western Michigan. They controlled that game from the outset, scored the first 8 points. That run became something like 24-3. Iowa blew out to a monster lead at halftime and cruised to a 40-point victory, 91-51. Bobby Hansen, my broadcast partner, former Hawkeye great, an NBA champion, is alongside, as he always is, on Hawk Talk every Monday night. Bobby, not much to find fault with yesterday.
No, not at all, Gary. Just looking back at the notes from that game, and as you mentioned, 8-0 start. That meant they were locked in. Not looking back at Iowa State, but they came out on fire. Cam Manyow, a gentleman that we'll have here with us tonight, he got them off to a good start, but 52-16 at halftime. Total domination by Iowa, and did a whole lot of good things there. 24 assists on 33 made baskets. That's amazing.
And they were spreading the wealth around. I mean, Iowa set a season high with 14 three-point goals from 6 different players who made at least one triple. The assist thing was spectacular. 24 assists, to your point, Bobby, on 33 field goals. And Iowa committed just 6 turnovers. This has been a low turnover team this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You got veteran ball handlers. Bennett Sturts is not going to turn the basketball over. Kel Combs in the backcourt with him. Those guys know what the system is. They're not going to, make crazy passes. They're going to make the sure pass. kick it around. And I just love how this team plays, Gary. When the ball moves around the perimeter, doesn't touch the floor, you're looking inside. They really dominated in the paint. Points in the paint were 38-22, but it was a lot wider margin than that during the course of the game. Western Michigan scored some there. But, attacking in the paint and knocking down the three-pointers, 14 of 31. That is phenomenal. Three-point shooting, and good to see Brendan Hawson get going. He came in there, played 19 minutes, 4 of 7 from deep was the Amarillo Assassin.
The Amarillo Assassin. AA. He is a Texas boy. He's certainly bucking for more time, more playing minutes as the season wears on. And the Hawks are going to need him. Iowa made 11 of 15 field goals, 11 of 15 attempts to start the game. And on the flip side, held Western Michigan without a point for 4.5 minutes. And I was mentioning this in a conversation this morning I was having with one of my play-by-play counterparts around the Big Ten, that this Iowa team is as good defensively as they have been offensively. They're shooting at a high percentage, 55.5% from the field, but they're allowing a low percentage. On the flip side, Iowa State was averaging 95 points a game. They got 66 at home. I mean, that tells you how well Iowa can play defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that people like to talk about right now. Is like, I love the energy that this team plays with. I love how these guys play defense. And it's obvious, no doubt about it. For the season, they're holding teams to just 42% shooting, Gary, and barely over 30% from three. So, it's starting to put it all together, no doubt. A couple of games left here. We're calling a home game in Des Moines, and then a final home game here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and then kick it back up for 18 more Big Ten games.
We appreciate everybody tuned in tonight in all of Iowa's 99 counties. For the folks here at the Hyatt Watermill at the Hyatt Regency, the Watermill Grill and Bar and Restaurant. The food is rolling off the kettles and the stoves in the back of the building. And come on in, enjoy dinner. A cocktail, a coffee, iced tea, hot chocolate, whatever your desire is. If you're tuned into the Hawkeye Radio Network, you can reach Coach McCollum on the Hawkeye Radio Network by Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/voiceofthehawks. We're available on the U.S. Cellular text line 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344. Or you can email us a question to hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com, hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com. We welcome, as we have the first couple weeks, Mediacom Channel 22 on the system of 8, on some of the cable systems at 822. Jeff, India, and Michael are here again, beaming our signal visually to folks around eastern and central Iowa. Mediacom Channel 22. Thank you, Jeff, India, and Michael, and Mediacom, a proud supporter of Hawkeye Athletics, both football and basketball, for beaming the show out of the Hyatt Regency live. All right? That is a good opening information-wise. Iowa, I guess we haven't gotten to Des Moines. We're going to get to that here as the evening wears on, because the Hawks are playing a home game in central Iowa on Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock for our pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa will entertain Bucknell. Bucknell out of the Patriot League. More on that when we come back, as it should be a terrific crowd there at the Casey's Center, formerly the Wells Fargo Arena. It's the Casey's Center right downtown in Des Moines. It's hosted a number of NCAA regional tournament games. It's a homecoming of sorts for Trevin Urach, the big 6'10" center of the future and present for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Bobby. And I'm sure Trevin will have a lot of family and friends there.
Oh, you know, a young man from Valley High School there in West Des Moines, and 3-time state champion with the Valley High School Tigers there. So, yeah, he's coming along. I like how the big guy plays. I like how he passes it. He's energetic. He's always, he's anxious when he gets in there, and always does something good.
As Bobby mentioned earlier, we've got a special player guest. He'll join us next. That is Cam Manyow, the 6'9" junior forward from Kansas City, who's off to a great start for the Hawkeyes this season. Cam joins us next here on Hawk Talk, live from the Hyatt Regency on Learfield.
Despite the unshakable Iowa-Corn Cy-Hawk rivalry, there is one thing Iowa State and University of Iowa fans can both agree on: getting hyped for Unleaded 88. It's cleaner burning and better for your engine. And it's cheaper than other fuel options, making unleaded 88 the clear fuel choice. If Iowa corn Cy-Hawk rivals can agree on it, you know it's worth the hype. So pump it up with unleaded 88, grown by Iowa corn farmers.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
RE/MAX is the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics, and we understand there's a number for everything: square footage, down payment, interest rates. But how do you measure the trust you have in your agent? For a RE/MAX agent, it's not about numbers on a contract. It's being a trusted RE/MAX agent. That means you'll get honest advice, expert guidance, and someone who's committed to your success. Because while numbers count, trust is what truly matters. RE/MAX, the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics. Each office independently owned and operated.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCollum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Hawkeye Radio Network Bowl Week coverage begins from Tampa on December 26th with daily Fight for Iowa podcasts. Then on December 30th, join us from Splitsville and Channelside for the Fight for Iowa Bowl Preview Show from 4 to 5:30 Eastern. And on December 31st, it's the Relia Quest Bowl featuring Iowa versus Vanderbilt. Pregame at 9 a.m. and kickoff just after 11. Bowl Week coverage is presented by Hills Bank, banking on community. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Iowa and Bucknell coming up on Saturday afternoon at the Casey's Center in downtown Des Moines. 5 o'clock for the pregame show, or 5 o'clock for the tip, 4 o'clock for the pregame show. And a key component to that Iowa attack, both offensively and defensively, is 6'9" forward Cam Manial. Let's welcome Cam into the show tonight. Hawk Talk with Coach Ben McCollum. Cam is from Kansas City. A junior. He's 6'9", 250 pounds, a biscuit short of 250, and started his career at Wyoming before he was a key component of that Drake attack a year ago that won 31 games and got to the NCAA tournament second round. And he's off to a great start as a Hawkeye through 11 games now. He's averaging 8 points. Iowa's leading rebounder, shooting 60% from the field and 73% from the foul line. You've really worked on your free throw shooting, haven't you?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the gym working on that. I was very disappointed with the last 2 years being so low, so it's nice to see that the work's paying off and, I have a higher free throw percentage now.
You are a fast starter, man. You're getting points and rebounds out of the gate for the Hawkeyes. That's so important. You were integral part of that 23-4 run to start the game yesterday, and nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, you and your teammates know how to come out of the gate.
Yeah, I just try to come out there and get a feel for the game and just see what's going to work, just from the stuff that we've practiced and worked on, and just kind of try and see how the game gives it to us.
How have you settled in coming over from the Drake Bulldogs? Obviously, you were in the state of Iowa last year. You know all about Iowa basketball, but how have you melded in with your teammates at the university? You've been here, 6 months now?
I think it's been very good. Bringing a lot of guys from Drake, it's been a lot easier for us because we have a lot more guys to teach the stuff, and then it's just less people that you have to integrate to the team, and so it just makes it a whole lot easier because there's a lot more people that the new guys can kind of acclimate to and kind of just build this culture with us, and so it just makes it a lot easier.
Hey, Cam, talk about that transition. I mean, that was your second move, I guess. You start out, you leave your home, and you go to Wyoming, and then you come to Drake, and then within a year, Coach McCollum gets the job, and come on along, and here you are in a new city for you. Just talk about a little bit of that transition and how it's good to have your teammates with you.
Yeah, it's definitely a little hard to, pick up and go to a different place every single year. And so having people that are going through it with you makes it a lot easier because they're going through the same thing. And so it's just easier to share those experiences with them. But it's definitely tough, not having any continuity in terms of where you're staying and always having to acclimate to new places. So I'm excited to be here and be here for the long haul.
You talked about the half a dozen Drake Bulldogs that moved here with you. You know their nuances, their habits, how they play the game. Of course, Bennett Sturtz is the leader of the pack. But talk about the Cooper Koch and Alvaro Folgueras and Brendan Hawson, who had a big game yesterday or Sunday afternoon against Western Michigan. How has the chemistry been with the guys you haven't played with before?
It's been great. I think they've come with a great mindset of just trying to learn from us and figure out what exactly it is that Coach McCollum wants from us. And they've done a great job acclimating to that and, just trying to figure out what all it is that we do here. And they've done a great job.
Through 11 games, 9-2, the 2 losses have come to top 10 ranked teams. Iowa State's top 5. Michigan State, I think, was 7th when we went to East Lansing. Certainly not easy places to play, but certainly Hilton Coliseum and the Breslin Center give you a chance to grow and mature more, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like when we played in Breslin, we were a little rattled, and you can kind of see just with offensively and defensively, we just weren't playing our game. And then when we went into Hilton, I felt like we were a lot more settled down and ready for that game. And so we just got to continue growing and learning from those experiences and, just keep learning and get better from those.
Cam, when you start a game, when you're out there, you're the big guy out there basically. I mean, at 6'9", what is your mindset? What are you trying to establish early in the game?
Early in the game, just trying to establish a defensive presence, keep the ball out of the paint, make sure that they're seeing a 3-man wall at all times, and just making sure that we have a defensive presence, and then offensively just trying to get into a flow and kind of make the game easy for everybody.
Have you played now? I know, obviously, being at Drake, you spent a lot of time in Des Moines. Have you played in the KC Center at all?
No, we've watched a couple of games there, but I've never played there.
So you've got to be looking forward to that on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it'll be nice to play in a place that we spend a lot of time in, so it'll be nice to get out there and play out there. You bring that physicality to the game for Iowa. I think Tavian Banks brings a degree of that as well. Tavian's smaller than you are, but my point is with the Big Ten coming here fast, these games are rolling along now off the schedule. The Big Ten is all about physical play, and you guys appear to be ready for that. Yeah, I think our coaches do a really good job of preparing us for that, and then just also knowing that I'm going to be undersized in the majority of the matchups that I play in. I'll have to bring something that they don't have, and so I either have to be extra physical or I'll have to exploit something because they're going to have, maybe the physical attributes, but I'll have to bring something different to the table.
And Cam, talk to me a little bit about how you bring along the young guys. I mean, you got 4 freshmen on there. Tate Sage has really come along, and Trevin Urach, obviously, he's going to be a good one there, the big fella. Just what's your message to those guys and how you go about practice?
I think just staying the course and continuing to go as hard as we can every day and just trying to learn. So I try to pull those guys aside as much as I can and explain things to them that I'm seeing and try to help them just understand the game more. And, with guys like Tate Sage, you can see that the confidence building in him, and he's really starting to feel it playing at this level, and they'll only continue to grow, and it'll be the same for all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty apparent. Tate Sage, Joey Mattione got some quality minutes on Sunday. Those guys are anywhere from 6'6" to 6'8", 6'9", and that's part of your responsibility as the senior citizen in the middle is to bring those guys along, including Trevin Urach, and they seem to be good students.
Yeah, they are really good students. I mean, they take everything that I say to them, and they try to, ingrain it in what they're doing and try to pick up on it. And, you tell them something one time, they're going to do it the next time. And they just do a really good job taking in what we're saying and just going out there and trying to do it.
It's apparent that you and Tavian and Howard, Isaiah, Cale, it's apparent you guys have played a lot of basketball together. I leave Bennett Sturtz out, not intentionally. But there's something to be said about playing a year or 2 or 3 with guys, aren't they? You really know their next move.
Yeah, it helps. On defense, you can kind of tell what they're going to do, and so you just kind of have that bond and chemistry with each other. So it just makes it a lot easier. And even on offense, just knowing where they want to get to and knowing what, like, different screening angles and what helps them, it just takes it goes a long way.
Bobby and I were talking earlier. This is a really good shooting team, 55%, but you're equally impressive at the defensive end. You held the Cyclones to 62 points or 66 points in their building a week ago. Iowa, statistically, one of the very best defensive units in the country. What's been the key?
Just how we prepare and just the way our defense is built. I think our coaches have put us in the best positions to be able to be a very good defensive team. And defense is something that can show up every game. You know, offensively, sometimes you can't control if shots are going in or not. But if you're able to guard and keep teams down, you know, eventually the ball is going to have to go in, just law of averages. So if you can continue to play defense every game and hold the other team from scoring, eventually you'll be able to put the ball in the basket, and that will help you win games in the long run.
What do you think, Iowa City? Having a good time here in Iowa City and classwork and final exams there. What's that for a student? What's that like for a student athlete?
Yeah, I've been liking Iowa City. It's been great, small town vibes. I really like the community, so it's been great in that aspect. And then as a student, for me, my finals actually hasn't been too bad. I don't have any final tests, but I have final essays. And so I've had those for about 2 weeks, so I get ahead of those and get those done. So it's been a relatively kind of easy finals week for me, and kind of just get to wind down the semester and get prepared for these next games and then the next semester.
Your family's heritage is in Africa, right?
Yeah.
What country?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Tell us about Zimbabwe and the culture and what you grew up with.
I don't really know too much about Zimbabwe. I've never been, and that was where my parents were born, and my oldest brother was born there, but I always lived in America. And so one day, you know, once I'm done with basketball and, you know, have the time, I want to get over there and, you know, meet all my family and kind of see where my parents grew up and really just see what it's all about.
You grew up in Kansas City, right?
Yep.
That's a pretty good town, barbecue and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things on it. It's a growing city, and so it's a very nice place.
Well, Cam, you've been a delight to watch. Great having you here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCollum, and we'll have you back again. Make sure you grab some food. This delicious Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Bar and Grill. Okay?
Yeah, I've heard. Yep. Thank you for having me.
Good to meet you. Hey, good luck on Saturday, bud.
Thanks, Cam.
Cam Manial, Hawkeye starting center, strong forward, what you will, off to a great start through the first third of the season, and I'm sure Coach McCollum will do his usual complimentary raving about Cam when Ben joins us here shortly. We'll take a break here. We're live from the Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Bar and Grill. I'm Gary Dolphin. Bobby Hansen is going to hang around. So check us out on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. You can Facebook Coach McCollum with a question or a comment at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. You can reach us on the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344. Or email us your question, hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We're at the Hyatt Regency. Thanks to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar for hosting us all season long. If you're looking for an intimate space for your upcoming holiday party, give them a call. Watermill Kitchen and Bar's private dining room is an ideal spot to gather your small group this holiday season, with space for up to 18 guests and a menu full of unique options for everyone to enjoy. It's a great way to celebrate together. Find out more at watermillkitchen.com. That's watermillkitchen.com. As the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular reminds you that on game days, those hands are for cheering, not texting, because game days are built for the Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. We're back in a minute with your questions and comments for Coach McCollum. Iowa and Bucknell up next on the Hawkeye Radio Network Saturday afternoon from Des Moines. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCollum from Learfield.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Get ready, Hawkeye fans. New head coach Ben McCollum and the Iowa men's basketball team are ready to hit the hardwood.
He's working hard into the corner. Koch hits a three. Oh, talk about catch and shoot.
Carver Hawkeye Arena is heating up. Witness the electrifying plays in person and be a part of the roaring Carver crowd. Take in all the action happening at Carver Hawkeye Arena by visiting HawkeyeSports.com on Iowa, and go Hawks.
The year-end clearance sale is going on now at your local Honda dealer. Honda cars, SUVs, and trucks are on clearance during Happy Honda Days. Save thousands on the new Honda today with 0.99% financing. 2025 Accords, Pilots, and Ridgelines are on clearance. Plus, see big savings on the full Honda line, like financing as low as 0.99% APR on the new 2025 Ridgeline. Don't miss Happy Honda Days. Search your local Honda dealer today. See dealer for financing details. Financing on credit approval offer ends 1/5/26.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
Hawkeye fans, gear up for game day with Big Grove. As an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they bring you the ultimate game-watching experience. Sip on fan favorites like Easy Eddie, Citrus Surfer, and Neighborhood Beer while cheering on the Hawks. Can't make it to the stadium? No worries. Join them at any of their 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks!
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Hawkeyes and Bucknell coming up Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock at Casey Center in downtown Des Moines. Join us for the, hopefully you're coming to the game. Bring your radio headset with you. We'll be on the air at 4 o'clock with the pregame show. And tip off at 5 from the arena in downtown Des Moines, the Casey's Center. Bucknell from the Patriot League is here. And before we talk about that, let's welcome in Coach McCollum. Let's go back a few days to the Iowa State game last Thursday. You knew what kind of atmosphere you were walking into, Ben, but what a great effort by your guys. What a great prep plan from the coach's perspective, and just your afterthoughts about that 66-62 decision.
Yeah, I thought, we make a few more plays. I think we, are able to win the basketball game. That's kind of your first thought is just, man, you get a loose ball here or there. Maybe you finish a layup that you might have missed. Maybe you don't turn one of those over. It comes down to 2-3 plays, and in those kind of games, you want to be able to make those plays to be able to win the game ultimately. Obviously, we've made a lot of progress as a group. We continue to grow and get better. I'm not necessarily surprised. Meaning, I always thought that we could be able to compete with teams in the tops in the country and whatnot, and we only proved that we could get close at this point, and so now it's time to get over the hump on some of these. I guess we've only had 2 of them, these top 10 games, and see if we can get a win in one of them.
And Coach, what pleased you the most in that game? How you competed?
Yeah, probably how we handled the atmosphere, how ready we were. Again, I'm pleased. It's not that I'm not pleased necessarily with our progress and our process. I'm very careful to make sure that you don't just accept the fact that you lost by a couple points, because you ultimately want to win. And so you got to be careful not you got to be careful to understand that, hey, we have made a lot of progress. We're getting better. Our kids can compete in the road like that. But also, hey, if we make these 2 or 3 plays, we win that basketball game. And so making sure that you kind of marry those two together. But I was probably most pleased with just our effort and toughness coming out, our execution of our scout. the ability to handle that atmosphere.
Yeah, and then how you came back. I mean, jump out 8-0, start. You guys were ready to go on Sunday.
For sure, and that's the sign of a team that's fairly emotionally tough. I thought our kids could have had a hangover from the game, could have felt good about themselves, bad about themselves, whatever it may be. And Western Michigan is not a bad team. Obviously, we got it on them pretty quickly, but in other games they've been either closer or they've won them, and so they've gotten a lot better as a group. And I thought our kids did a good job of executing with 2 days prep.
Coach, you're playing really well both ends, defensively and offensively. The shooting percentages or shooting against percentages bear that out.
Yeah, I think from a defensive perspective, that's what we've worked on all summer. I think offensively, we've worked on being random, which we worked on all summer, and you see it carrying over. Obviously in the Michigan State game, offensively, I didn't think we were fantastic. Maryland, much better. Iowa State, we had a good stretch. I thought we turned it over, gave them a few pick sixes, as you will. But no, offensively and defensively, we got kids that are connected, kids that understand their roles, which helps a ton on both ends of the floor. Just need to keep progressing.
Yeah, and how about a comment on Cam, our guy that came by today? I just love the way he plays and the toughness that the young man brings.
Yeah, absolutely. He's grown a lot just even from the beginning of last year, even the summer. Most importantly, just in the consistency of daily habits, practice, and even just being ready for every single game, which, that's a tricky thing to do at that age. And he's probably even a year younger than what he should be. He's a young junior in college, and he's been great for us, excellent leader, been consistent, and obviously he's, made a jump, and he's changed programs for 3 straight years now.
How did he come about from Wyoming to Drake?
Well, we actually recruited him. I might have been the first person to offer him. I'm not totally sure. He was a junior in high school, and he had he's just young. I think he's either a October, November, December birthday, somewhere in that range, and so he's young for his grade. And I believe we offered him after his junior year, and then he had a summer where he got a few offers. Bryston was actually the first one that got him on the map, Indiana State at the time. And so Coach Williams offered him. Then he picked up a bunch of Division I offers after that. Ended up committing to Indiana State. Bryston left Indiana State to Wyoming, so he followed Bryston to Wyoming. Then ended up coming to Drake. I don't think he followed Bryson at that point. I think that actually hurt our recruiting, same at Iowa. But, no. But then obviously just kind of followed people, and he's always chosen people, and he took a good path to get to where he's at right now.
Yeah. And he's bringing those young guys along. We were asking him here a little bit ago. You can just tell the freshmen, the Tate Sages, Trevin Urach, Joey Mattione got in there for a few minutes yesterday. They obviously look up to a guy like Cam for leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. He's off the floor. He is as low maintenance as it gets. He takes care of his academics, takes care of his social life, takes care of everything. And then on the floor, obviously, he's always ready, great teammate, not afraid to hold somebody accountable. And yeah, has helped with the freshman. Cooper Koch, a freshman too. So he's helped with all those kids and acclimating them to the culture that we want. And he's done a good job of that.
Let's go to Twitter, Coach. Start our questions and comments from our wonderful Hawkeye fans and listeners. Taylor's in West Des Moines. You had balanced scoring and great ball movement yesterday. How rewarding is that to watch as a coach? The ball doesn't hit the floor. You keep it moving. And you hit 11 of your first 15 shots. A lot of things going well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think when we get it up the floor a little bit quicker, sometimes we get stalled out where we walk it up a little bit too slow for my liking. Once we get the first domino to fall, meaning we get the first rotation, we get the first time somebody's 2 on the ball, we get the first paint touch, then our guys do a great job of keeping the advantage. So we get an advantage, then they keep the advantage because they move the ball so quickly that the ball stays ahead of the defense consistently. And that's what you saw yesterday. The ball just stayed way ahead of the defense. It was hard for them to catch up. And then obviously it helps when you make the shot once you get the shot too. So, that's a big part of it as well.
Part of that, Casey's in Coralville here. Thank you, Casey. What did you see from your defense that made it click so well yesterday? Usually offense feeds off defense.
I think the defense just gets better and better throughout the season. And hopefully you'll see that because we keep it the same, but yet we tweak little tiny things for each opponent, whether it's a ball screen coverage, whether it's forcing somebody a direction, etc. But we keep it the same so we get better and better and better and better. And we work on it constantly. The basic habits that we try to form every single day, whether it's simply just guarding the ball, making sure that we're active with our hands, making sure that we're in our gaps, et cetera, et cetera. We work on that every day for the entire year. And all the way up to the last game, we're still working on the basics, the fundamentals. So it just gets better and better as the season progresses.
And in yesterday's game early, you were able to pound it inside with a little high screen roll and then the drop passes in there. They had no answer.
Yeah, and that's kind of what our offense is supposed to do for the most part, is to try to, we call them pocket passes. And, we have, in the past, I've had bigs that kind of pick and pop. Now we've got bigs that are more dive bigs. And if you're up in coverage a little bit too high, we can get those pocket passes. If you're back in coverage, we're able to get even more depth to our drives. And when we get depth in our drives, then you get paint. When you get paint, good things happen. You start the dominoes, and that's where the ball kind of gets out ahead of the defense. But, that's a lot of our ball screens. We got to the next action really good. You set one action. If you get slightly behind, now you get it to another. You get to another, and then by the time you know it, they're behind the ball. What we say, and I don't know if I've said this on the show, the interesting part about offense and screening in particular on offense is from a defensive perspective. If I'm defending, let's just say an on-ball screen, a ball screen, from a defensive perspective, the defense has to be right 3 out of 3 times if I set 3 ball screens in a possession. But from an offensive perspective, all I have to do is be right 1 out of 3 times, because that's the time that I score. And so what we try to do is try to get to that next action faster and faster and faster. Because if you can guard 1, that's fine. Can you guard 2? Perfect. That's fine. But you surely cannot guard 3 if we can get to it quick enough. That's kind of the point of our offense.
Has this been your offense at Northwest Missouri as well, 15 years ago?
Yeah, just different. Not starting off, I ran every offense under the sun my first 2 seasons because I really didn't know what I was doing. So, then it kind of progressed. We actually had what we call pick and pop bigs, meaning we had 6'8" guys that could shoot. And so you had to make a decision, do I switch? If you switch, now we've got matchups. If you hedge, now I can pick and pop, and we can play off of that. But it's always been random. It just changes based on our personnel. So we try not to just say, okay, you don't shoot, but we're gonna make you shoot. Or hey, you're really good at cutting, but now we're gonna make you a shooter. So it's based on what our personnel says to do each year, but it's still always random, and it's still always our guys making the decisions for themselves rather than me making the decision for them.
And watching you practice, what I appreciate is you tell your guys, this is what we're going to try to get to, but you still got to play at some point.
Yes, we want them to play. So a lot of our teaching, early in the season, you have to give them a little bit more structure. As it goes, we would prefer. My thing is, what I always tell recruits is, my job as a coach is to work my way out of a job by the end of the season. And what that means is, can we teach you so well that by the end of the season, you're essentially coaching yourself on the offensive side of the basketball? Those are the most difficult teams to scout. Those are the most difficult teams to defend. And it's the funnest style of play to make. So we would rather teach than coach. And so if we can teach, now eventually those guys make decisions for themselves. Now we're impossible to scout because they can read situations. And so, but you got to really work on it, and it does take time to develop.
I'm glad you clarified that. Coach yourself out of a job by the end of the season. You're more of a faculty member by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what we.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Now, it's no surprise we have a lot of high school coaches who listen to this show. And what an irony here. We got James on Facebook. Coach, as a high school coach myself, I'd love to hear about your defensive non-negotiables, team-wise and player-wise, in terms of what a player has to be able to do in order for you to trust them enough to put them out on the floor. Also, how long have you been using the Iverson cut into ram action a big screening for another big into a ball screen to start your offense. Best of luck, go Hawks. He's definitely a coach.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to do a chalk talk, I can do that all day.
Well, 90% of our audience probably wouldn't quite understand.
Well, I try to make it understandable.
I know, and I was fascinated by you and Bobby's exchange here.
Yes,
for the last 2 minutes.
But you give clinics. I mean, I watch you practice. I mean, that guy would be perfect at
I do a lot of
clinics.
Yeah, I do a lot of clinics. Anytime a high school coach asks me to speak at a clinic, I shouldn't say anytime. Now it's been a little bit more difficult, but most of the time I say yes because, you know, a lot of the high school coaches that I grew up in, youth coaches, were a big influence on my life. So I try to do that. But to answer that question, defensive non-negotiables, you know, I think from a defensive perspective, your first thing is make sure that you can control certain things, which is, you know, boxing out, which we haven't been great at up to this point. I think our defensive rebounding percentage is still pretty good.
It is.
But it's not as good as I want it to be. Usually we'd be towards the top 5 in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. So that's your first thing. Then you want to make sure that you can eliminate transition buckets. So anything that is outside of like a true play is what we want to eliminate, and that would be transition buckets. That would be points off of our own turnovers, and then that would be making sure that we defensive rebound a little bit, you know, more consistently. And so those 3 things would be non-negotiables. What was the second part? How do they trust them? You know, if they give effort, I think if they give effort, and then obviously you have to have a level of skill that goes with it, where your feet have to move correctly. You have to be able to defend the basketball. You have to be active with your hands, and then you have to have a little bit of edge to you to impose your will from a defensive perspective. That's how we would do that. The Iverson cut, which would be some people would call overaction. We've used that for... towards the beginning of my career, not that exact action. We actually used to call it Hoosier, which is ironic. Hoosier. I had to change the name of the action. It's not called Hoosier anymore because I think I stole it from Tom Crean when he was the head coach at Indiana. Not that specific action necessarily, but that Iverson cut into something else, and then we just kind of changed it throughout the years. And that's just a starter to get us to our flow, which is our fist, which again is very random basketball.
I'm glad you mentioned Tom Crean. You move a little bit like Tom on the sideline on game day. No, he's a little more animated.
Yes, thank you.
A little more animated.
Yeah,
good. He runs the 100. You run the 800.
There you go.
Along the sideline. So, but Tom's a terrific coach and a good guy. Okay, so there you have basketball. Well, beyond 101, the Iverson cut into Ram action. Coaches.
Do you know what Ram action is?
I have no idea what Ram action. What is Ram action?
You basically set a screen into a ball screen. So I set a screen for the guy that's going to set the ball screen. So then the hedge isn't there. So it eliminates the hedge. That's why you'd set that. So then there's no hedge on a ball screen. So now Bennett can come off that screen freely.
This is terrific.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it?
This is great.
You know what next time we're going to do?
Look at me taking notes here.
If you could get like film, we could do a film study with you.
Well, MediaCom's televising it, so we could put it right up here in our background.
Yeah, well, we got to get my computer. I don't have my computer with me.
Let me go to work on that, okay? We'll take a break for now. Hawkeye basketball with Coach McCollum and Hawk Talk here from live from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing will continue in a minute. We're brought to you by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They know that quality coverage takes a great team, and with a Wellmark individual and family health plan, you can choose from thousands of in-network providers. Score great coverage and find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. And we're brought to you by University of Iowa Healthcare. UIHC is here for you no matter where you are in the state of Iowa. Changing medicine, changing lives for all of Iowa and beyond. Visit uihealthcare.org. We're back with more of your questions and comments for Coach McCollum in just a minute on Hawk Talk, live from the Hyatt Regency Watermill Bar and Grill.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing. big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Thanks to Mediacom for televising our show live each and every week. Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Ben McCollum. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody. The Hawkeyes are in Des Moines, a place that Ben McCollum is very familiar with, and we're going to get his scouting report on Bucknell coming up here in just a few minutes. But we're talking Hawkeye basketball right now, and we're taking your questions and comments on Twitter and on Facebook. Just a programming reminder, we will be here next Monday night. We will have a Hawk Talk with Coach Ben from 7 until 8:30 next Monday night. Then we'll be off for the holiday. We won't have a show for a couple weeks, but Pat Anger and I will have a live bowl preview show coming to you live from Tampa on the afternoon of December 30th, the day before the Hawkeyes take on Diego Pavia and that high-octane Vanderbilt football offense. Vanderbilt 10-2 on the year. Their only losses to Alabama and at Texas. So, yeah, Pava is legit. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist, something like 28 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's the real deal. And it should be such a tantalizing matchup. That quarterback against this Iowa defense. Ben McCollum knows what great defense is, and the Hawkeye defense. You and Phil Parker have a lot in common, by the way. I meant to tell you that.
You like to get stops?
Oh, well, you like to get stops. Don't let them beat you over the top.
That's right.
But just physical stuff, whatever they're trying to run at you.
Absolutely. Try to take you out and make you do what we want you to do.
Have you and Phil sat down yet?
I have not. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever met him.
Oh, we got to get that. We got to get that done.
Yeah. Well, I usually see him at practices, so I'll see him at practices, and I don't think he wwants to talk to me during practice. So.
Phil doesn't like to talk to anybody.
That's all right. I don't have a problem with that at all.
That's D coordinators are usually that way.
That's how I would be too.
But What I find attractive and very similar to your defensive philosophy, and Phil and Norm Parker before him. Norm Parker always said, "Look, I'll go to Vegas on your money. I'm not going to Vegas on my money." Meaning, just play that base defense. Keep them in front of you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And don't break.
Yep.
And don't break.
Keep it simple.
And that is attributable to basketball. Keep them in front of you. Right.
That's,
absolutely.
It's a pretty simple game.
All right, Coach. Let's go back to Twitter. Taylor, thank you for checking in. @Gary Dolphin. Coach, how much do you pay attention to the analytical websites like the net ranking, Ken Palm, Evan Maya?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. I think my staff probably pays attention a little bit more. I think the net ranking is important simply because it impacts you going to the NCAA tournament. So I think our net ranking is pretty high right now.
I think it's 22, 20.
It might even be higher than that. I think it might be higher than that.
Hang on.
And then
it updated today, so here we go. Here we go. We got the rankings. The Hawks are 25th on the coaches poll.
Here it is. There's the net right there.
Corey's all over it.
19.
19 is the ranking. 24. Let's see here. Well,
24 is our previous one.
Okay, gotcha.
19
so
is the current.
You improved 5 spots, but playing the likes of Iowa State, Michigan State, that's going to happen. It should happen.
Yeah, and they take into account offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. So if you play well in any game, it helps your net ranking, and so that's why you schedule particular ways. So our net ranking is solid right now. Just need to keep down that path.
Yeah, 19 on the net. Ken Palm is somewhere
20th,
22 or 20th. Yeah, so they're both very good, very attractive.
Yes.
So there you go, Taylor. Levi, which players dribble drive to their offhand the best? I see that Bennett is going left more, and it helps the offensive disguise the next player pass. Thank you, and go Hawks. We got a lot of coaches checking in tonight.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I mean, I think that part of probably Bennett going left is the defense a lot of times forces him left, where it's got weak, and so they'll take him to his weak hand. But, all the guys can go to their weak hands pretty consistently. If they're at high major basketball and they can't dribble with their offhand or go to their offhand, we've got bigger problems. So most of them can go both directions, and they should be able to. Obviously, if you can get to your dominant hand, that's what you want to do. But no, it certainly is important to be able to use both hands.
Bobby, how good were you with the left hand in the NBA?
Yeah, I just stood next on the left side of Stockton, and when he would drive and kick,
he would shoot it. His was, do I catch it with my right or my left?
Yeah,
I know
left
which hand
foot
I shoot
forward.
it with.
You're already here when
Yes.
Stockton's got the ball.
I always try to get to my dominant hand, though.
Yeah, he for sure was.
John never shot a left-hand layup in his life.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
He'd go left. They'd force him left, but he'd go up and shoot it with the right hand.
It's overrated. It's overrated. It is.
It is overrated.
If you can use your dominant hand, always use your dominant hand.
I mean, I've never been around a coach who'd say, you go in from the left side, you shot fake, whatever, get it up there with the left hand.
Well, which hand would you make it better with?
Well, with me, it'd be the right hand.
Yeah, it's every human being. Yeah, by nature. So if I'm allowed to use it, why not use it? Now, you need to be able to use your left if you have to.
Yeah,
100%, and it certainly helps a ton. But yeah, if you can use your right, then use your right. Make the layup. Just make the layup.
Otherwise,
make the basket.
Otherwise, Stockton's not going to throw it to you.
Yeah, that would be true.
He was pretty good. He was pretty equal opportunity until the mailman's running on the left. I'm running on the right. He'd look at me and give it to Stock or give it to mailman.
Carl Malone.
The Cadillac Volkswagen theory, he called it.
Cadillac, folks. VW or the VW?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't complain.
All right, back to Twitter. Charlie's in Davenport. How important was the quick start to building confidence after the Iowa State game? Well, you had a quick start at Iowa State, too.
Yeah, we didn't lack for confidence after that game. I didn't think that it shook us whatsoever. That's the good thing about this group is they're pretty process-focused. So I don't know that the quick start, other than you just kind of put them away earlier, and we were able to play a lot of guys, which I think was really helpful. And get ourselves into finals week and focus on those.
Ray in Johnston, were you as impressed with the Cyclone pressure defense as I was? They were relentless. Your kids definitely gave it their all that game. Well, Iowa State, I mean, TJ loves to play that pressure defense.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, we faced a lot of that in the past, not necessarily this season, but they certainly compete. I thought that the biggest difference was probably Lipsy, more than anything. I thought he legitimately guards the ball. Like, he guards the ball without fouling. Like, he's legitimately, consistently cutting you off, beating your angles, and staying active with his hands. Like, as good as anybody in the country from that perspective. Because a lot of people can guard, and then maybe they don't call the fouls. He guards. Like, he's legitimately defending you and keeping you in front and not fouling you. It's really pretty impressive.
How about the freshman kid? I thought he impressed me with his defense. Torre?
Yeah, he did a good job. He obviously, his job was to make sure that Bennett didn't catch the ball a lot, that sort of thing. He's got good length, good physicality, all those things. I thought that just them as a group, that's kind of what they do. From a defense, they have an identity, and they stick to it, and they do a great job defensively.
Bennett, facial expressions, he never shows any effect, whether a team's doing a good job on him or knocking him off stride, being physical with him, blocking him, screening him. That's what I love about him. He's always at the same mental framework.
Which is good and bad sometimes, because I don't think he gets as many calls.
That's a good point.
Because sometimes I'm like,
very good point,
dude. You got to react to something, like, because otherwise it's just like you just. Yeah, the officials asked me, "Do you feel like you got fouled?" I should have finished it. I was like, no, like.
Yes.
Yeah. You did.
Show more emotion.
Yes. No. He's great. I think in the long run, as things get progressing, it'll certainly benefits our team, because he stays pretty stoic on the floor and stays very, very composed one way or the other, and that's why we're able to. They made that run and a half, but we're able to make a run back at him simply because of his personality and his mentality on the floor.
Bobby, Ronnie Lester was a lot like Bennett. I mean, Ronnie, just keep coming back for more. You bring it on.
Knock him down, knock his tooth out, I remember. Yeah. One time. They go fix it, and he'd be back out there, not say a word.
That's Bennett. Bennett's pretty. Yeah. He's actually not surprisingly, but he has a very, very high pain tolerance. Very high pain tolerance.
That's always good in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
We're going to come back with more questions and comments for Coach. We're nearing the top of the hour, and we'll have an abbreviated scoreboard when we come back next here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCollum. We're brought to you by Iowa Corn. Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers, who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. Met a couple farmers at the Clinton Rotary that I spoke at today at noon over in Clinton County along the river. Hi to everybody in Clinton County listening in on our wonderful Hawkeye affiliate, KROS Radio. And Summit Agricultural Group is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products like corn, beef, hogs, and ethanol. Go Hawks. On behalf of Bruce Rastetter and the crew at Summit Agricultural Group, thank you, Bruce, for your support of Hawk Talk with Coach Ben McCollum. And we're back to the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing right after this brief pause.
Despite the unshakable Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk rivalry, there is one thing Iowa State and University of Iowa fans can both agree on: getting hyped for Unleaded 88. It's cleaner burning and better for your engine, and it's cheaper than other fuel options, making Unleaded 88 the clear fuel choice. If Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk rivals can agree on it, you know it's worth the hype. So pump it up with Unleaded 88, grown by Iowa corn farmers.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
Happy Honda Days are here. The best time to save on a certified pre-owned Honda at your local Honda dealer. See big savings on all certified pre-owned Honda cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Plus, you're Honda backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Every certified pre-owned Honda goes through a 182-point inspection and is reconditioned like new by factory-trained technicians with genuine Honda parts. To save on a certified pre-owned Honda, search your local Honda dealer today.
Hawkeye Nation, the wait is over. Carver Hawkeye Arena is calling, and the Iowa men's basketball team is ready to light it up under new head coach Ben McCollum. It's his first year at the helm, and the Hawks are ready to fly with high-octane style of play that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat, bring the energy, and help give the Hawks the home court advantage. Head to HawkeyeSports.com and grab your tickets today. Let's pack Carver and make this season one to remember. Go Hawks! Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Ben McCollum. Hopefully everybody's getting around safe and sound. Had a couple of snow blizzards here that have roared through Johnson County and Iowa City in the last couple of weeks and elsewhere around the state. I want to throw a shout out to the State Patrol. I heard, yesterday we were talking about Interstate 80 was closed. Western Michigan had a heck of a time getting into Iowa City, but there were, I heard a story today, the State Patrol investigated several hundred accidents, 30 to 40 injuries. So it begs the shout out to all of our law enforcement. They did their usual remarkable job in helping clean messes like traffic accidents up along the interstate and secondary roads too. So thanks to our state troopers, our county sheriff's department deputies, our municipal police forces, certainly the DOT workers, snowplow drivers, city street crews. We couldn't get around without you, and thank you so much for all your efforts here in the last few weeks with whether it's a 12-inch, 14-inch snowfall or 3 or 4 inches. We really appreciate you out there helping.
Can I put a thank you out there?
Yeah, sure.
2 of them, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Driving in yesterday, Interstate 80, had no idea. The road we live on was ice sheet, right, county road.
Yeah.
But the interstate was dry as a bone. It's like whatever that secret sauce they put on there dried that thing up. So, yeah, thank you for that. And thank you to my neighbor, Saxton, for coming over and snowplowing me out. I didn't think I was going to make it. Well, but he's over there in the middle of the night after deer hunting and got her plowed out.
I don't want to see you out there shoveling, let me tell you, with your back, your leg, your forearm,
shoulder,
that 10-year NBA career. Yeah, just sit there with a cup of cocoa and watch them plow your driveway out. But anyway, thanks to all of our DOT workers and snowplow drivers. And I've been noticing a lot of signs that the DOT is looking for snowplow drivers. Yeah. I actually thought about applying, but
get your CDL.
I caught myself. Huh? I do not have a CDL. I'd have to get that commercial driver.
That, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on from that nonsense. Not a whole lot going on in college basketball tonight. Texas Christian TCU is hosting Incarnate Word, and they're usually good for an upset or two every year, and they lead 37-31 at the half over TCU. North Dakota State up 20 on Minnesota, University of Minnesota Crookston at the half, 57-33. South Dakota State is playing Wyoming, And Coach McCollum certainly familiar with Wyoming. He's got a couple former players from the Cowboys on this Iowa roster. Wyoming's up 11 on South Dakota State, 40-29. They're playing at the Sanford Pentagon, where the Hawkeyes have played any number of times. Bobby and I have been there. What a beautiful facility. What a great complex, the Meyer Medical Complex. And, Coach, I bring that up because Austin is checking in from Sioux Falls tonight on the U.S. Cellular text line. Coach, would you ever consider bringing your team to Sioux Falls to play at the Sanford Pentagon?
Yeah, absolutely. Our 2017, my first national championship was in the Pentagon. So I've got a lot I've got a lot of good memories in the Pentagon. We qualified for an Elite Eight there, won that regional 2021. So I've had a lot of games in the Sanford Pentagon. I love that arena.
So there you go, Austin. We'll probably look for the Hawks because the Hawks will sell the building out, whether it's the men or women or both, here in the near future. We've been there probably, I'm guessing 4 times, maybe 5 times. But thanks for the question, Austin. So there you have our scoreboard. Monday Night Football, the Dolphins are playing in Pittsburgh. I'll bet that's comfortable for Tua. And it doesn't look like it's snowing there, but I'm guessing I can see the breath, so it's chilly. But right now it's Miami nothing, Steelers nothing, and they're about halfway through the second period. That's our scoreboard update. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Ben McCollum from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. They're listening in Fayette and Farragut, Fort Dodge, and Fort Madison, the home of Ryan Bowen. And we'll be back with more questions. In fact, when we come back, Coach McCollum will give us what scouting report he has on Iowa's next opponent, Bucknell, out of the Patriot League, this Saturday afternoon in downtown Des Moines. More on that next on Hawk Talk from the Watermill Bar and Grill in the Hyatt Regency here in Iowa City. From Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
Hawkeye fans, gear up for game day with Big Grove. As an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they bring you the ultimate game-watching experience. Sip on fan favorites like Easy Eddie, Citrus Surfer, and Neighborhood Beer while cheering on the Hawks. Can't make it to the stadium? No worries. Join them at any of their 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks!
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Comedy powerhouse Dane Cook is coming to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort on Friday, February 13th. Known for his unparalleled stage presence and outrageous observational humor, Cook's catalog has been streamed over 1 billion times worldwide. Along with his unforgettable comedic genius, he has starred in movies such as My Best Friend's Girl, Employee of the Month, and Good Luck Chuck. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at Riverside Casino and Resort.com or visit our gift shop.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Hey Hawks, this is Coach Ben McCollum inviting you to join me for Hawk Talk live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency. We'll talk Hawkeye hoops, answer any of your questions, and get a behind-the-scenes look at Iowa men's basketball. If you can't make it there, check out the full schedule at HawkeyeSports.com to listen. Go Hawks.
Time flying by here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ben McCollum. Iowa basketball Saturday against Bucknell. We'll get a scouting report from Coach in just a minute. Want to remind you about the Fight for Iowa Bowl Week coverage. Begins December 26th, day after Christmas. We'll have daily podcasts from Tampa, Florida. Pat Anger and I will bring you interviews, analysis, and all the Bowl Week updates. We'll be at all the practices. We'll talk to the players. We'll interview the coaches, get their sense for how they plan to handle this explosive Vanderbilt team on New Year's Eve afternoon. So you can find the Fight for Iowa podcast at HawkeyeSports.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform. We've had Coach McCollum on there. We've had Bennett Sturtz on there. So we keep it evenly balanced with all of our sports. Right now it's time for the Midwest One Bank Scouting Report. Thanks to Midwest One Bank, the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One Bank, a proud partner of doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. All right, Coach, give us a snapshot of Bucknell. They're out of the Patriot League, an ancient conference like most of them are out east, but they've played basketball for 130 years. And Bucknell, down through its history, has had some really good programs. They have, obviously well coached. I haven't watched a ton of them at this point. I watched most of our recent games because we have this week to be able to really build on ourselves. So I haven't watched a ton of them up to this point. I think they've played a few of their Power Fives fairly close, and then I think their most recent game they ended up winning. But well coached, historically a really good program. They won their league, I believe, last year. Didn't end up winning in the tournament, though, so they weren't in the NCAA tournament from what I remember. But that'll be good. I mean, they'll be well coached. It'll be a fun game. And the fact that you spent a year at Drake and are entrenched for that 1 year and beyond, you're well known in Central Iowa and Des Moines. I look for a great crowd come Saturday. I really do. Yeah, I hope so. This game was scheduled before I got here. It was actually scheduled to play SLU. And, one of those games on a neutral floor against a quality opponent like SLU doesn't generally make a ton of sense, but and Josh is a good friend of mine too, so we're like, we don't want to play this game. This is no fun playing friends. Now that's St. Louis University for those that aren't into acronyms. Yes, St. Louis University. Sure. So we ended up not doing that, but the game was still on, so then we just had to find another opponent at the last second, so ended up getting Bucknell, and hopefully it'll be a good game. Yeah, and I think it's a great gesture to play in Des Moines because we've got a lot of Iowa basketball fans in Central Iowa. We've had the Hy-Vee Big Four event there down through the years, Bobby. That was always. Are you going to ask me about that? Or is that? No. Is that next? No, I'm not going to ask you. Well, unless you know something I don't know. No. I just get that question all the time because I was at Drake. Yeah. Why aren't you playing Drake? Why aren't you playing? Why aren't you and I? Why? When it was employed, it was a great outing. I mean, it really was awesome. I'm not going to. It was an awesome deal. It is really neat. If they would ever actually change how you qualify for an NCAA tournament, I think that would be a great event. So, but I have to do what's in the best interest of our team in Iowa, and so. Oh, absolutely, no question. On that note, we just got a tweet from Mike in Des Moines. Hi, Dolph. Great game against a tough Iowa State team. Look forward to the game in Des Moines. Hope to be able to say hi and get you, Bobby, and the coach's autograph. Well, we can make that work, Mike. Ben is gracious enough to come to us on the postgame show, so he'll be out there visiting with us on Saturday. Hopefully we're talking about a Hawkeye victory. All right, let's go to the U.S. Cellular text line, Coach. No name on this question. Do you make the substitutions during the game, or is it one of your assistants? How do the rotations work?
One of my assistants does.
Okay.
They do the substituting. I've done that my entire career. Obviously, we talk about it prior. I obviously ultimately decide who plays and doesn't play. But there's so much going on in a game that in order to kind of keep flow with guys and to pay attention who's tired and who's not, I think it's a lot easier to have one of your staff members do your substitutions, and it just eliminates some of the decision-making that goes into the game, so then you can solely focus on the group that's on the floor.
Thanks for the question, no name. Blake's in Des Moines. How do you continue developing your rotation when a game stays lopsided? I guess he's referring to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best. Oh, if you have a true rotation, maybe. I'm not sure. So
you're not there yet, though, are you?
Not totally. I mean, developing your rotation, then you get to play more guys. And when you get to play more guys, then ultimately it certainly helps your rotation. But, in those kind of games, you just put a bunch out there and everybody gets an opportunity and everybody gets a chance to compete. And, playing time is always a thing that you can earn throughout the year. It just because you don't play now doesn't mean you won't play later. And so those are your opportunities to get in that rotation.
All right. So Bennett, this is from Gary listening in at the Hyatt Regency. I wonder who that is. Bennett's your number one guy. Do you worry about who emerges as a number two scorer? I mean, Tate Sage has really come on. I know you like playing those freshmen to figure out what they can do in terms of the total package at both ends of the floor. Hosson came in with a great reputation. I really like the way Tavian Banks plays. But ultimately, who is that number two scorer? Cooper Koch is certainly somebody that comes to mind who takes some of the pressure off Bennett, takes a lot of the pressure off Bennett game to game.
Yeah, I mean, my mind with that probably works exactly how you just explained, how you just rattled off every single player on my roster and then Bennett. It's tricky because the way you want to run offense is you want to create a level of gravity, so you want to create a level of fear. And people are scared of Bennett, so they put two on him consistently, and they occupy a defender, which allows everybody else to be successful. He was just talking about the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone and John Stockton. The trick with that was you've got Stockton, and then you've got somebody on the back end that they're just as afraid of, right?
Certainly, yeah.
And so that's kind of the trick is trying to develop that to where, you've got a Bennett, and then you need somebody on the back end of that that can finish and do those sort of things that create that level of fear. Then your shooters can shoot, right?
Exactly.
That makes sense.
I'm thinking of Alvaro. Player of the year in that conference, or that guy.
Absolutely,
and his better days are ahead.
I agree, and when he continues to come on, I think the hardest part for him is he can, the greatest strength of him is his greatest weakness. Is he can do a lot of different things on the basketball floor, and sometimes that becomes your greatest weakness because he can do so many things on the basketball floor. So you try to do them all at once, and a lot of times if you just do one thing great. Then you add another thing, and maybe you do two or things great rather than 10 things good, because then it helps you figure out, okay, this is who I am, this is the role that I need for this team, and then this is going to allow me to be successful. And you'll see him get in flow sometimes where it's like, oh, there it was, and then sometimes he'll kind of come out of the natural rhythm of the game, trying to do something that it's like, okay, I can do this. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't fit with the flow of the game. And so he's still learning. He's doing a great job, though. He's got a great attitude, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
I'll piggyback on that. We got to see Brendan Hawson came in and fired away yesterday.
Yes, no, he was excellent. He shoots as good as anybody. Obviously has a good feel offensively, and has been a great leader for us in the locker room and huddles throughout these games, getting these guys ready. So he's been excellent for us.
Oh, that answers my question. You get a lot of number two scorers that are going to step
up. Well, whoever decides to do it that day. Maybe we'll throw you out there.
2A, 2B, 2C. Yeah, all right. Okay, that takes care of that. Back with more with Coach McCollum and Bobby Hansen here in just a minute from the Hyatt Regency. Hey, start New Year's Eve. Start the new year off right with a special dinner here at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar located in the Iowa River Landing in Coralville. Choose from prime rib, or a half a rack of lamb paired with your choice of sides, a starter, a dessert, and a glass of wine or champagne. Just $100 per person. Reserve your seat on Open Table or visit watermillkitchen.com. I guarantee you the food is outstanding. You know the champagne and the wine will be delicious as well. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day started off right with a special dinner at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We need to take one more break. We'll come back and wrap up this week's show with Coach McCollum on Hawk Talk from Learfield and the Hyatt Regency. Back in a minute.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients. It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. Let's take a look at the numbers. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you choose from thousands of in-network providers. And you're teaming up with Iowa's #1 health insurance company. We know healthcare in Iowa. Score great coverage from Wellmark. Find the plan that's best for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Celebrate the legendary Donnie Baker with a night of non-stop laughs at the Donnie Baker Ron Sexton Memorial Tour, coming to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. On Friday, January 30th, hear fellow Bob and Tom Show comedians Bob Zaney, Greg Hahn, and Kostaki Economopoulos share outrageous stories and never-before-heard moments from the road. Purchase your tickets for this heartfelt and hilarious tribute now at riversidecasinoandresort.com or stop at our gift shop. It's going to be a night of laughs you won't forget.
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Got a couple minutes left here in our Hawk Talk with Coach McCollum for this week. Again, we'll be here next Monday night. Please come on out. We'll look forward to seeing you at the Hyatt Regency here in the Iowa River Landing at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. A reminder, on December 30th, it's the Fight for Iowa ReliaQuest Bowl preview show presented by Hills Bank. We'll be live from Splitsville at Sparkman Wharf in Channelside from 3 until 4:30 Central Time. So for you Hawk fans headed down to Tampa for the game, come on out to Splitsville. It's a great entertainment section right on the wharf in Tampa. As myself and Pat Anger, former Hawkeye, great linebacker, we'll break down all the matchups with Vanderbilt. We'll have player and coaches interviews, special guests. You can catch the show on the Hawkeye Radio Network or on YouTube. Coach, how big of a football fan are you? You a big football fan?
Oh, yeah, college football.
Yeah,
college football. All yes, right. Yes, big college football. I'm a fan of the Hawkeyes.
Well, I knew that. But you're such a basketball.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Such a basketball junkie. I just wanted to make sure.
No, I love college football. Yeah, that's I love watching college football.
It's a great game. It is. Yep. As is college basketball. Okay, we got a couple minutes left. Let's go to our lightning round here. Avery and Clinton, how do you keep the team from getting too comfortable when you're winning a lopsided game like yesterday?
We stay process focused, and so it's more about doing the right things consistently than it is about winning the game. Is this a lightning round?
Yes.
Okay, next.
That's a short answer. Great.
Okay.
I love it. Logan from Davenport, what's the biggest growth you've seen in this group since the start of the season?
I've seen us be able to form into our roles a lot better. Initially, it was difficult to kind of create those roles and help people understand who they are as players, and now they've started to do that throughout the year.
Beautiful. Here's Quinn and I right here in Iowa City. Quinn wants to know what has stood out defensively that you want to keep building on moving forward.
Our hand activity on the ball, meaning we do get a lot of deflections.
Scrapes, steals.
On-ball deflections, yes. That's what we want to continue down that path.
Iowa's one of the best stealing teams in the country in terms of steals per game. Let's see, Sydney and Coralville. How do you balance playing experienced guys with giving younger players chances and wins like yesterday? And you've been playing the freshmen a lot.
Yeah, we play freshmen even in big games. You know, I think if you earn the time, you get to play. I think the trick with freshmen is making sure that you allow them an opportunity to play for an extended period or just enough to where you're not pulling them in and out so much.
One more, Taylor from Ames. Taylor, Coach, what lessons from this game? I'm not sure if he or she is talking about Iowa State or yesterday, but let's lump the two together and really the rest of the non-conference schedule. What lessons do you want this team to carry into Big Ten conference play?
You know, I think just how you have to show up every day and create that habit of doing that and playing with extreme effort throughout. You know, I think we learn a lot every single game and get a little bit better because we face different types of competition, different styles, and so learning those styles will certainly help us in Big Ten play.
What pace does Bucknell play at that you've been able to?
I don't know.
You
know, a lot of times I don't.
Deep?
No, a lot of times I don't totally pay attention to pace or anything like that. Stats for me are, I don't know. I probably don't pay enough attention to them. I just kind of watch them, and then if I see what they do good, and then I take it away.
Well, you're one of those guys that worries more about your team than what the opposition.
I use it. Right? Well, we scout. We're a pretty heavy scouting team, but we. You know, I think the biggest thing is I use a lot of feel with that stuff. So,
who's got the scout Saturday?
Jesse Shaw.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, he's on.
Pressure's
yes.
on. Coach, thanks a lot. We'll see you this weekend.
Thank you.
Bobby, thank you as always.
Thank you, Dolph.
Thank you all for coming out to the Hyatt Regency on Hawk Talk with Coach McCollum. We'll talk at 4 o'clock with our pregame coverage Saturday from the Casey's Center in downtown Des Moines. Good night, everybody.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Coach Ben McCollum. Brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. Mediacom, home of extreme and 1 gig internet speeds. Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One, small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Shelter Insurance. The ball is in your court. Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent who can help you with your auto, home, and life insurance needs. Also brought to you by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.